Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make deliciously crunchy chin chin. If you've had issues with soggy chin chin or chin chin soaking up oil or just not being as crunchy as you'd like it, I'm going to show you how to get it right. So if you want to see that, keep watching and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel and also enable notifications. Alright, so first of all you need 500 grams of plain flour. So stop here. This is the first tip of the video. Use plain flour, not self-raising flour, because if you use self-raising, your chin chin will be like a cake and it won't be crunchy at all. It'll be quite soft and it might actually soak up some oil as well. So avoid self-raising flour, use plain flour. And next we need 100 grams of butter. So here's another tip. If you're getting chin chin that is soaking up a lot of oil, it's very likely because you have too much butter in it. And of course, if you have too little butter, your chin chin won't be as nice. So it's important to keep the balance of butter right. Then I have 150 grams of sugar. Then I have 70 grams of powdered milk. So here's another tip. The more milk you have in your chin chin, the harder and hence the more crunchy your chin chin will be. And of course, if you don't add any milk, you have softer chin chin. And you can also use whole milk or even evaporated milk rather than the powdered milk that I've used. And here I have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. So here is another tip. The baking powder is used to make the chin chin more crumbly, and if you don't want to add that, it's absolutely fine. It gives you a more crunchy and snappy chin chin. I like to keep the baking powder at a minimum, so you can actually even add less than 1 teaspoon of baking powder. If you add any more baking powder than this, you might find that your chin chin might become really soft and just not as crunchy. I have 1 egg. So another tip, the egg also adds to how hard and crunchy your chin chin is. Some people don't add any egg and that's absolutely fine, but I like to add an egg. And lastly, I'm going to add some vanilla just for some flavor. Okay, so now getting started, I'm just going to add all my dry ingredients together. So that's the flour, the baking powder, salt, and nutmeg. The sugar and the milk powder as well. And I'm just going to mix that all together. And then I added my butter and then I went ahead and mixed that together with my hands until all the butter was incorporated and rubbed into the flour. This is the type of texture that you want to achieve once you're done. Then I went ahead and added my egg. And then my 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So now you'll find that you need some water to bring the whole thing together. But here's another tip. Don't add too much water to your mixture. You only need enough to bring it together into a dough. But if you add too much water to it, you'll find that your chin chin won't be as crunchy when you fry it. It won't necessarily soak in a lot of oil. However, it will just have a soft texture and not crunchy, and of course you want your chin chin to be crunchy. So as soon as you see that your dough has come together, stop adding water and just knead the whole thing into a smooth dough, just like you see me doing here. You only need to mix the dough till it's all combined together and you end up with a lovely smooth dough. So, I mean, it's not like you need to knead it for like 10 minutes or something. Just about 3 to 5 minutes is more than enough. So once your chin chin dough is ready, it's a good idea to go and turn on your oil before cutting up your shapes for the chin chin, because you don't want to leave those sitting about for too long after you've cut it. The reason being, if you leave them sitting after you've already cut the chin chin shapes, they'll just kind of melt back together and they'll stick together, and then it'll be difficult to separate them. So I guess there's another tip. So here I'm rolling out my chin chin dough. So you really just want to roll it out flat to about half a centimeter in thickness. So once I was satisfied with that, it was time to cut up my chin chin into my preferred shapes. Of course, you can cut it to any shape that you prefer, but what I would say here is, as you can see, I'm using a pizza slicer or a pizza cutter. Let me tell you, this tool is a lifesaver when it comes to cutting chin chin, because it makes it so much faster than just using a standard knife. So if you can get your hands on one of these for doing this, I would 100% recommend it. I mean, look at how quickly I got that done. If you were using a knife for this, you would be spending like 20 minutes trying to cut this all up, but I did this in like what, 5 minutes. So once I had my chin chin all nicely cut into the shapes, I transferred them onto a plate to go away to be fried. Don't worry about trying to separate these too much, because they will separate very well in the oil while they are frying. Of course, make sure that your oil is nice and hot before transferring your chin chin in. Otherwise, you'll just end up with oily chin chin and then you'll be very sad.